All right, isometric room, Cinema4d. So let's first start off with a plane, right? Just S to zoom in, and B. So, all right, I'm going with the slightly different layout, but it's still going to be isometric camera. So I'm going to go like this, start off with the grid, C to make it editable, get some edges. This one looks slightly different. So to get these, I just clicked on this one, hold down shift and double clicked. I got this whole edge, control, ooh. Go on rectangle selection, control, deselect. Actually, I want to deselect these. Do right click, and actually control click. I'll get these edges instead. The layout I'm using is a little bit different from the example, but it all makes sense. All right, anyway, I'm just trying to get these edges right here. So get this, control click. So I want right here. What I'll do is I'll give it some thickness. So right click, extrude. That's on the edge selection. 9 quit, right click, extrude. Just push it down. I'll click on create caps to fill in that floor. 9 to quit. So my particular example, I have a cabinet. So let's just build it out. Get ourselves a cube. Actually, I'll just build out the wall first. I'll do that instead. So take this, control click, copy it. Only because I like the thickness of it. Let's rotate it. Click shift. $90 degrees. I could have paid attention to how thick it was and done it that way. It's not a problem. And also one other thing I'll do, I'll set up isometric camera, but well, I guess let's just do it now. We set up a camera, we click on it, and we go to panel, the projection, go to isometric. So that's our camera, our isometric camera. If we want to get inside, we click on this. Get inside. And actually, let's just go ahead and lock this. Or let me get out of it for a second. I'm not sure what it's looking at exactly. Let's put it in this area. Let's see. So you see how the perspective's kind of distorted? This is what you want, all right? And we're just basically placing this in the center. All right, so something with the camera, right? If you right now the camera's free, so I can like move around and move it. To lock the camera, you want to right click on it and you want to go to rigging tags, protection. Right, so we cannot move the camera. Now to get out the camera, I'm out of the camera now. Now I'll build off of this. So this right here, just to get this wall. Correct. Let's go over here, get some faces. Like I said, I could have paid attention to this. You know, I'll just might as well make our lives easier, and I'll do that. I'll click on my wall. And depending on what you're going to do with your wall, if you want to make it a window, probably wouldn't do this. So I'll just flip it, click shift 180. Let's go in here. Get these faces right here. Delete them. And then just bridge these on over. Select. Now to quit. Cool. Open our camera. Establish this height. I actually want this whole thing to be click shift like this. So the floor is basically the most important part of this. And it kind of determine how everything else is laid out. Perfect. All right. So now let's make myself the cabinet. So I'll just take this. Cabinet will be pretty simple. Then I'll actually show you 2 ways to do this. So if I wanted to be real cheap with it, I could just do this, go to fillet, something like this. Kind of tight. Put on the floor. And then we can use some of these tools right here, which are looking for an array. Right there. Yeah, array right here. So I'll drag this into here. Click on array. No, it's actually not. No, my bad. It's cloner. That's what it was. Wrong tool. So cloner. So let me take this out of array. Don't need array. Gonna click and drag this into cloner. Delete array. Click on cloner. And we have these options, right? So linear is the one I want. If I go here, this is the count, right? And if I drag on the dot, it'll scale them out. I don't want this many. I only want about 4. Which one is it? Yeah, this is the one I want right here, right? Because I want them just to be evenly spaced out. So go to the Y, we'll make them kind of close. That's it. We can just set these up. Rotate. Click Shift. 90. They're a little bit off only because this, so they're off to the side. So if I go over here, type in 0, 0, and they're completely straight. T. So I can make them like that. And I can also go in, let's say another way I can do this. So if I take this right here, let me give it some fillet. Make it kind of tight. Press C to make it editable. Right click. Let's go to loop. Path cut. 1. 8. 9 to quit. UL. Go to edges. T, we can scale it down. UL. T. UL. Scale these down like this. We'll do another UL. We'll grab faces. And we'll just grab these interfaces right here. Shift. Shift. Right click. Extrude. Extrude them in. We can't see anything because it created caps. Maybe like T to scale. So we can do something like this. Put these in here. And then we can do something like UL. Go to edges. And then we just bevel shift. Grab all these hard edges. So the outer, the inner. Shift, shift. So like I said, you can do it the other way or this way. There's always a few things to get the result you want in 3D. A few different ways. And we just right click, do a bevel. Subdivisions is 2 or more. 9. And if I do NA, see, it looks a little smoother. So we do that as well. Actually like that one a little bit better. So I'll just use this. So put this right here. If we want to make a knob for these, you can go here, we can go to sphere. S to zoom in, NB. We can grab some faces, go get a rectangle. Hmm. 9. Oh, I didn't editable yet. C, faces, rectangle selection. Select these right here, right click. No, let's scale first. T, scale it in. We can do a loop path cut. So let's make 2. 9 to quit, UL. Click on this, T, scale it in. And all I'm doing right now is I'm kind of like using this just like it's in this view. I'm just doing it with my perspective. So you can do it in this view, but also if you line it up right and you kind of understand what you're looking at, you can use this view instead of going here. We get rectangle. No, I'll even get points this time just to do it. Raise this up. T to flatten it. And this will be inside of the drawer, so we don't really need to have these faces here. So a lot of the times if something's pushed into another object, we can just go ahead and delete it. So I'll just go right here and I'll delete this. And if I need this any longer, I just grab the edge, do UL, and then we'll have this edge loop. And then we could just take E and drag it up and down. Now something else I'll do, since these edges are kind of jagged, I could have gone and got a sphere and added the a lot of the loops. Matter of fact, I'll show you how to do that real quick. So this example on subdivision. Just show you how it works. S. So I have this sphere right here, right? Instead of 16 segments, let's change it to, I don't know, 60, a high number. C to make it editable. Go get these faces, rectangle selection. I'll select about half of these faces and I'll do the same thing. T to scale it in. Raise it up a bit. Right click. Loop path cut. Click, click. 9 to quit. Edges. UL. Shift. T to scale. So you have this right here. So if I type in NA, you can see this one looks a lot smoother and this one looks a bit jagged. Oh, let me delete the top as well. NB. Go get rectangle faces and I'll just delete that. Right? Well, T. All right, so they look similar. Let's type in NA. So yeah, that looks smooth and this doesn't look so smooth. But what we can do is we can give it a subdivision. So to do that, we'll just click on this, go to Subdivision Surface. And this sphere right here, I'll drag this into here. And now that it has its smoothness, all right? So you don't necessarily have to add a bunch of segments in V to get this. You can just go to subdivide and make it from like a shape with less primitives. So showing you this something you could do. So let me turn this off. Yeah, so I'll take this right here. Go to my full way view. S to zoom in. We'll do this. Go over here. S to zoom in. T. Rotate, click shift. 90. Yeah, now we have this. Just control click, duplicate it. And one thing I can do is I can name, so T, where did that, oh. Not really sure why my pivot got over there. You're really not sure. Okay, we'll just group those afterwards. So control click, and then we just duplicate. Duplicate. Yeah, and then we can put that in a group later. So now we have that one. In my particular example, I have a desk, pretty easy, right? So just go in, grab ourselves a cube. Fillet. And it's also okay to make some objects kind of, they don't need to be the exact size they are here. We can just make them and then, scale them down later. Put them in a group and scale it in places. Tables can be made a couple different ways. So I'm just going to show you both ways I can make it. So I like to fillet it first, and then we'll just press a C to make it editable. Right click. Gotta get a component. Right click. Blue path cut. Yeah, one. Let's add some. Or yeah, it's about right. 9 to quit. Get some edges. UL. Select this one. Shift this one. T. Scale this back. UL. This one. Shift this one. T. Move it back. Do another loop path cut. So I can just click once. 9. Do the same thing. UL. Click shift this one. T. Scale it out. So I'm just doing this to keep everything even. Shift, shift, T. You know what I'm really doing this for is these squares right here. Or this area, I should say. 9 to quit. Like I said, we can take these over here, raise them up. Let me raise it a little bit up. I could take off the grid, but I like the grid. That's to zoom in, and then just get some faces. Click. Right. Right click. Make sure I have everything. Let's do NG. I didn't choose anything extra. NB. Right click and extrude. There we go. Then what also I can do is I can just do another extrusion. Do one more little one. All right. 9 to quit. Go to faces, rectangle selection. Select all these. Right click, extrude. Scale this out. If you want to get extra detailed, you can kind of like drag it down. Depends on you, or I guess the reference. Cool, 9 to quit. Don't want to be extra detailed. Remember, it's the small details that count in 3D. So I can just grab these extra faces on the bottom and kind of do that same thing again. Extrude. All right. All right. Just for a little experiment, I want to see something. If I get these edges right here, on everything. And sometimes I'll do this, I'll just make another object just to experiment on. I just want to see what a bevel would do. Nine. Type in NA. And remember, if it gets kind of wonky like this, you just click on the object, press S, go to the rotate tool, click on the object, press S, S, go to this right here, and then everything's like just centered on those objects. And then when it comes to something like a table, just place it in our scene, put it on the floor. It's too big. S to zoom in. ND. So it's too large or too short. All we have to do is go to this rectangle selection, get these points, select these. Now we have a long table. Now we have short one. And then we can make it smaller, taller. Of course, if we have a couple tables, we can just duplicate this, place it wherever it needs to go. Let's keep this small. Now something else. Let's say I wanted this to be shorter. I mean, less thick, right? We could press T and do this, but when you do that, it kind of it distorts this a little bit, which can be the look you're going for. But the smarter thing to do would be to just grab these top points. Let me just do NG so I can see. And I'm just doing this so I don't have to go in this view, but I could just go in this view right here and then just grab it, move this. So now I'm keeping that bevel same way it was before. NB. Our pivot's off, so just press L. Place it where it needs to go. Cool. Now let's say you're making a sofa. Super easy, right? Just to get a cube. Scale it out. Go to fillet. Grab the points. Just make it soft. And go ahead and do like 6 or something on this. In other programs, I don't know about Blender so much, but because I've never really used it, but I don't know if they can allow you to rotate the screen. But in Maya Max, you can't rotate these orthographics. They're like locked. You can only zoom in and pan. Just one thing I don't like about this. There could be a way to lock it. I just have to look it up. So let me put this about right here. Okay, I think that's good. So let's give it some legs, right? Give myself a cylinder. I'll just raise this a little bit above just to see it. Press S. Depending on how I like them. We'll go to fillet on this as well. Make it softer. Let's give it like 6. C to make it editable. I just want this bottom portion. It's the only one that's important to me. So let's grab this. Actually, I could just grab all of these. Bring it up, delete it. Take this, and I place it on the floor, press S to zoom in. And just to keep things looking good, what I'll do is I'll place these. I'll just use the geometry just made to kind of align it right here. So I know that this is touching this edge and this is touching this edge. Control click. Drag it over. Select both of them now. Control click to duplicate. Might be insert on a Mac. Not sure. And then select them all. Because what I really want is this. I just want that roundness on the floor. Nice. Cool. Control click. Click shift. So I didn't rotate that all the way. Click shift. Click shift 90. Depending on the style of sofa you're doing, you can have one. Selecting these, duplicating them over. This looks like it has like a little armrest on it, so I'll just click shift over here. This right here. Drag it up a bit. Scale down just a little bit. Looks a little bit different, so I'll just press C to make it editable. Right click. It's just the particular one I'm using. Let's do loop path cut. On this right here. On this one. Rectangle. I'll grab these points right here. Rectangle again. All right. I'll just put it in this mode, T, just scale it a little bit. Control click. All right, so I got all that done. Then I'll just do my rectangle selection. I'll try to select all of these. Control deselect what I don't want. NG just to make sure I'm getting the sofa. NB. And then I'll just do an Alt G. Alt G. Let me just do it here. Oh, wait. All right, since I have all these, I know it. Just click on this. Alt G. Oh, wasn't pressing right. Alt G. All right. GRP. Yeah, it's not doing what I think it is. So there, we have this. If we want to make it bigger or smaller, of course, we have that option. Just done with my sofa. Matter of fact, you know what I'll do? I'll just make this back wall, control click, move this one.